This is Erica Chablis, and today's video tutorial is on chip bags, or any kind of bag, any kind of snack. This one here was a Doritos from one of the teachers at school, and she looked at me crazy when I asked her for a bag, but I thought it was really cute. I love the purple. This one here is one of my favorites, so I had this bag around, and I'm pretty sure one of my kiddos had this one. Everything is lined in the ones that I'm doing, but you can not line them. But this video tutorial will be on lining your bags. Let's do it. Let's talk for a second about bags. So when I do my bags now, I open them from the bottom, and that's just my personal preference because I'm not sure what I want here, that I don't want to tear anything. So I always open from the bottom now. Now, if you get bags from other people that just donate them to you or just give them away or you pull out the trash, I do wash my bags. So the back side is washed and sanitized with wipes. And that's just my preference. My son was eating some yogurt today and I saw this. I was like, that looks like that could be a small little round bag. So I'm going to try that later. But yeah, anything now I look at them like, maybe a bag. So I have several types of bags: candy bags, chocolate bags, chip bags, popcorn bags, and I have a couple of sizes. This one here, I'm going to talk about that crease here in a minute, but I'm thinking about the one that's more rectangle here. I'm going to make this size here, which is the 5x5. All right, I'm going to put this out the way for a minute because I do want to talk about zippers. Now I have a little container of small zippers, and for the small bags you really only need like the 7-inch size. I do have a couple of longer zippers, and I'll link that in the description where I get mine from. You can get zippers from everywhere, but I have one particular place, especially for these little chip bags. That size there. I have different colors, and so what I like to do first is match up the color scheme because I don't want to be trying to figure it out as I'm going. So what I'm going to do is just show you how I do it to begin. I'm going to do a few. I'm not going to do those right now. All right, so if I was going to do this Mr. Goodbar bag, which really creased, and we're going to discuss how the creases happen for me. This one here, I would do another one because of that crease. But if I was going to do this one, I would definitely do the brown zipper. I like that color scheme. This one here, when I was looking at the bags earlier, I was like, oh, it's got all these colors, and I do have a rainbow. So I pulled out my rainbow zipper here. I think that's going to be super cute, and that may be the one that I do today for this tutorial. And so just know that a lot of the colors won't show because you're going to be cutting it off, and you can't use this end here. It has to be the embroidery zipper foot has to go around, so you got to have this part off. So more than likely, it's going to be somewhere in here. That may be cute. We'll see. Or darker. I think the darker shade looks better. All right, so we'll try that. I'm going to put this to the side because I haven't cut that one. Cheetos. I probably would do something with black. And there's a second Cheetos. This Cheetos here is that jalapeno one, and I think green might show up pretty good with that one. Yeah, I would do a green with that one. The Skinny Pop, if I had this color blue, that would be really pretty, but because I'm probably going to do this much of it, it's not going to really show. So I would go with the red. Yeah, I would go with the red on that one. This Fritos, if you had a blue jean looking color, I would pull the red just for a pop of color though. So that's what I would do with that one. This Funyuns, that green or even red. Let's see. No, I don't know if I would go with red. Probably, I don't know. The red is okay. I probably would go with green with this one though. This Row Gold, that blue would be so pretty. So I would definitely go with that. Reese's, I like brown for the Reese's. You could probably do yellow. But I think the brown pops pretty good. So I would do brown with that one. And then Blow Pop, You have several colors with this one. And this one, I brought it out because I wanted to show you this window here. I don't know if I would use that part. The logo is more here anyway. So for this particular, if you had a bigger bag, it probably would show. And not sure what you could do with that window part. But that's why I have this bag. I want to show you this particular one has that window. I would use, you can even use back sides of bags. On my bags though, I have the vinyl, the faux leather. I have not done the back side of bags, but I do look at the whole bag to see what part I want, because there may be a part of the bag that you want to use. And actually on this one, I would use this one and make it one of the little small rectangle ones. And I would cut more over here. I may do that one later and show you how I did that one. The blow pop one, I think red would pop or green. I don't know about the red. Red or green. I do have pink, but I wouldn't want to put pink with that. I probably would put that green. And then this Lays, and I actually got this from one of the teachers at my job, so I'm sure she's waiting to see what I'm doing with her bag. I would either do that or, oh, the red is pretty. I think I would do red on that one. And then of course, I don't know, I just like the ones with chocolate. The brown just pops out for me. So I have brown. You could do one of the M&M colors. I don't really like that red. Green's okay. I'm really particular and really like this this brown. So yeah, that's how I pick out my zippers, and I color coordinate them first. So we're gonna get started on the one I'm gonna do, which is this one. I want to do this Lifesaver one. All right, let's get started. Let's talk about the materials you're gonna need for the front of the bag, because you have the bag, but you got to protect it with some type of topper so that it won't tear as easy. So this part here needs to be protected. And what we're using is called vinyl fuse. You can use, they have a clear gloss finish. They also have a matte color, but I am using the glossy one. When you roll it out, it looks like that, like a little shiny piece. One side of it is sticky, and that's the side that will lay down on top of your candy bag or wrapper or whatever it is you're using. When you get ready to stick it down, be careful, because if you see that you didn't place it correctly, it will pull up some of the wording. And so if I was to put this back on, the wording would be on here somewhere. Just make sure that when you're ready to put it, you're placing it exactly on it how you want it, so you don't have to move it, and making sure it's smooth. Now, let's talk about it being smooth. Let me show you the difference in some that I heat pressed and some that I ironed. I started out using my iron to do this, which it works okay. I just noticed that the heat press does work way better. I do have this mini heat press that I have never opened, so I thought I'd give it a try with this tutorial just to see, so you wouldn't have to invest in a big heat press if you don't already have one. I have several because I do t-shirts, but if you don't, you can use an iron. It just, I think the difference is there. So if you notice, this is one from the heat press, and it looks really good. I don't see any wrinkles or anything. This is one from doing it with the iron. You can see that it does that. Let me show you another one with the iron. Now this one wasn't as bad, but if you'll notice, this one was with the iron. You can see little bubbles almost in it. It looks better than the first one I did, or this other one that I did, but it also looks like it doesn't have the shine to it like this one. So I'm not sure what's going on with that, but I know it didn't take as well as the heat press. Let's see, I did another one that I was going to share. This one. This one was with this one actually was my very first one I did with the iron. And you can see it got all out of place, all out of whack. And it's all wrinkled up. Can you use an iron? Yes. I think you can use an iron. But I'm not sure of your results. Your results may be better than mine. Mine just weren't as good as it was with the Heatpress. If you notice here, these look really good from the Heatpress. So I would suggest the Heatpress, or just be very careful with the iron, and hopefully you can get a better result than me. Okay, let's try this mini Heatpress, and we'll see how that goes. So what I'm going to do is do this one here just to show you how I put the vinyl fuse on. Although the bag I'm making already has it, I'm going to show you how I did it here. And I'm going to use this new thing that I have never opened. I don't even know how long I've had this thing or where I got it from. I guess I can Google, kind of look it up. It's just been in a box in a corner. And I am going to open it. I will probably speed this part up. Okay, so once I open it, it says HTV, RONT, whatever that is, mini Heatpress. There's a manual, and I'm so bad about reading manuals. I'm usually just one of those that just kind of plays with things. This is a bag for it to go in, and this part here is what heats up. That's that plate. It has a cord. When I plug it in, there is a power button here on the front side. And I guess it's probably one temperature. Let's see. Oh. Okay. So based on when you press this power button here, it will give you certain temperatures. So the first press, you're looking at 284 degrees, which is way more than what I use on my regular heat press. On my heat press, I use 200 degrees. There's a 320 and there's a 356. Now the 320 is what I normally use for my t-shirts. 356 is a little bit less than what I use for my sublimation. So, I don't know if this will work, but we'll try it. And when I press on the, oh, there's a little plate in here too for it to sit on. That's good. I was wondering about that. Do not touch the sole. Okay. Do not immerse the mini heat press in water, of course. Do not let children, of course. All right. I normally do 200 degrees on my heat press. My heat press gets really hot. So I tried 200, and that's probably about as much as I'm going to do on my heat press. All right. Let's plug this up and see how it goes. That was super quick. It was 1 minute, and now it is showing a green light. So let me turn around so you can see. That only took a minute to do that. Wow. Okay. So let me discuss this real quick. When you do your bag, you need to, when you cut it, I cut mine on the bottom. You can cut yours whichever way you want. However it is you think you need to get your design out. And then I normally, like, especially if the food was actually in the bag, I wash the bag. Like, I rinse it with water, and then I dry it, and then wipe it down with a sanitizing wipe. You know, like the regular wipes. You have to have plenty of those. So that's what I do. This one here does not need wiping or washing because it was individually wrapped items inside. So let me cut it. And I'm looking at this, and this is going to need to be a bigger bag than I'm doing right now. I'm using Park on the Porch 5x5 bags, but she does have some bigger ones, so that might work later. And my mom likes Baby Ruth, so I may do this one for her. So I'm going to cut on the side so I can make sure I get all of that. And I'm going to cut on this side. And then what I normally do is I just take it and I try to see if I can pull it. Like pull this like this. Oh, this one comes out really easy. But then be careful, because I did rip one of mine by trying to pull it like this. But this one comes off really easy. Alright, so now I have my design. And then you can look on the back and see if there's anything you want. It's not for me, so that's going to go recycling bin. This right here is a heating pad where you can press hot items on. You definitely don't want to press it on your cutting mat if you have one of these self-healing mats, because it'll mess it up. So I'm going to put this here, and I'm going to show you how I press it on, and we'll see if it works for the this heat press, this little mini heat press. So this is my roll. I'm going to take this piece here and kind of gauge where I want it. I know I need this much because I want it to come all the way over. So I'm probably just going to go. You can salvage some by cutting only what you need. I'm going to cut this much just to go over the whole thing. And I'm going to cut right here. All right, I'm going to put that away. And then this here is what's going to go. I'm going to peel it. And I noticed on these things that they have like a slight section before they start the vinyl. So just make sure you're covering all of what you want. So right there it starts. And it's good to peel it. Remember to be careful when you peel it so that it doesn't stick to itself. And when you get ready to put it down, make sure you put it down where you want it so you don't have to peel it up. You can peel it up, it's just that it may take up some of the ink from the bag. So let's see here. Do I want it this way? No, it's this way. All right, so I'm going to try to gauge where I want. And what I do is I just start where I want it, and then I start pressing. And see right here, I pressed it and it didn't get it right, so I'm going to immediately pull that up and go slowly. All right, and then I'm just going to take and press as I go. So it's pressed on there really good. It's just that when my iron was when my iron hit it, it just didn't want to stay flat. It could be user error, so it may work good for you. It just did not do what I needed it to do. So now I'm going to flip it over, and I'm just going to cut any parts that has the sticky part sticking out. Because when I did on my heat press, I definitely didn't want that on my heat press. I'm just going to cut this off. All right, so that is off. Now that's what I probably, I remember on the directions. When I did it on my heat press, I used my Teflon cover, but this, the directions on the back of this vinyl fuse says to use this to as your covering. So I'm going to place this on there. And I can't even remember what side it said. It said place release paper that was just removed from top. It does, always iron on a smooth surface, okay. It says to hold for 4 seconds, and that's about how much I did on my heat press. It didn't say what side to use of this, so I'm gonna do the shiny side down. And I'm gonna make sure it covers it as best I can. And then let's see, although this is much hotter than my heat press. I'm just gonna roll it across and see what happens. I don't know, y'all. You're only supposed to do 4 seconds. And I think I went way over 4 seconds. All right, let's see. Well, it looks flat on that side. It looks like I see some bubbles though. I don't know, I think I would do the heat press. Okay, let's look. I'm just gonna rub it a little bit because that's what I do with my t-shirts. I don't just immediately pull. I just kind of let it sit for just a second and then I pull. So let's see what we got. So I'm gonna take it. I think it did pretty good. So that little mini heat press, and I don't even know how much that thing costs. I'll have to look through my Amazon cart and see and link it in the tutorial so you can, if you want to use that, if you don't have a heat press. It looks like it did it pretty good. Yeah. So if you don't have a heat press, that's definitely an option. All right, let's finish up the tutorial with the lifesaver one. Let's talk about the hooping for the bag. You can do this on the PE800 because you only need a 5x7 for this size bag. I'm doing it on the NQ1700e. I do have 2 hoops ready. One of the hoops I want to have the cutaway on, and one of them is going to have the tearaway. Now for the first part of this, if you don't want the quilting look, you can skip this part. You could just do straight up, after you heat press it, start the bag. I'm going to show you how I did that part. And let's put this away for a minute, because that will be when we make the bag. I do my bags with the cutaway. Where are the scissors? Here we go. So I'm going to take a piece of cutaway. I'm sorry, tearaway. I'm going to take a piece of tearaway and get a piece off, enough to cover your hooping. I'm just going to hoop a piece of tearaway. And then I have a free file from Kiwi. Is it Kiwi Embroidery? I'll link it in the description. It was a free file that I just downloaded from their site, and I will show you that on Embrillance before I start this. So I'm going to actually take this and have it like centered in my my hoop, enough where it will cover the part that I want to use as a bag. What I do is I just did the whole, it's gonna do almost all of this. So let's go and look at Embrillance real quick. Okay, I think I typed in cross stitch. So search cross stitch on the Creative Kiwi, Creative Kiwi Embroidery with a K. And once you do that, you can scroll down. There are some that you can purchase. I got the free cross hatching quilt set right there. So when you click on it, it's going to give you this quilting file, and it gives it to you for all of these sizes. So if you're going to make a 4x4 bag or 5x5 or any of these sizes, you can have it. And you just add it to your shopping basket and you check out. Once you have it, you're going to open up that free file, and then you'll find the one you're going to use. Now my bag is 5x5, and so I did the 5x5. You could do the 6x6 and make sure you're covering everything, but I think I just went with this one here. Once you open it up, let me minimize this so we can see. If your screen opens up too big, you just click this little minus button right here, and then that'll zoom it out. Now this is a 4x4 hoop. To change this hoop in Embrillance, now if you're using some other software, I can't help you. I don't know anything but Embrillance. I'm going to click the Embrillance name here, and then I'm going to go to Preferences, and then I'm going to switch it to my 5x7. And I'm going to scroll down until I see the name of the hoop here that I want. 5x2, 4x3, I'm going the wrong way. There it is. 5x7. I'm going to say Apply. Okay, and then it's going to stitch it all the way here in this section, so it won't stitch the very top or the very bottom, and that's about what I need. Okay, so I'm just gonna go in and say file, save stitch as, and save it to my jump drive. Or if you have the AirDrop ability, the Wi-Fi ability, you can do that, but I use my jump drive. Let's take it over to the machine. Now that I have my file ready, once you get your file prepped in your software, you're just going to place your bag topper wherever you're going to put it. I put it like I gauged the middle of it because it's going to go actually above all of this. It's going to stitch all the way up. It only missed like a little small section here and a small section here, so it should pretty much do all of this for me. I use a piece of painter's tape just to hold it down. If you're bold enough to use your fingers, go right ahead, but I just use a piece of tape, and I think I might take that a little bit better. You could use some of the adhesive spray, but I don't on this part. All right, I'm going to put it in, and for my topper I'm using white. I believe there is some clear embroidery thread you could use. I'm going to use white on most of mine, so that's what I have. I would not use a dark color because then it'll take away from your bag. You want the focus on your bag, although the quilting I think adds to it. If you've not seen my other videos where I said that some people are taking these leftover strings and putting them in the glass jar, that's what I will be doing in this video. All right, so we have it in here. I'm gonna go find my file and let you see how it does the stitching on it for the quilt look. I normally change my attention, and then I'm going to trace it. Oh, you know what? This is not the bag I wanted to do. Crazy girl. Hold on, guys. I was like, wait a minute, it's not going over the whole bag. That's because this is not the bag I want to do. I need a bigger, what do you call that? Quilt stitch around this one. Let me get the right one real quick. So I'm just going to stick my Lifesaver one midway. Put my tape back on. Grab another piece. All right, because most of what I want is like right up in here. Push this in. Make sure it's threaded. All right, and oh, I wanted to talk about one other thing. Let me trace it again. I'm just gonna go all the way down there. Okay, I may need to tape that a little bit better because it's going all the way down. All right, let's take that off. And let's put a piece here. All right. Okay, on this file, it gives you, let me show you. It gives you two stitches. It gives you one that does just the little crosshairs at the corners, and then it does the one with the stitch. Now, I did the crosshairs on my first bag. And you can see it there. You can't see it here or here because that was cut off, but you see it here. And I didn't like that, so what I did was skip step one. So I'm just going to click here and go to my next step, which is step 2, because I just want the quilting look. I'm going to take it and do something else with it. So I don't think it's necessary to have that, so I'm going to use it like that. All right, here we go. This is why I don't walk away. Because I noticed it was starting to stitch and then it wasn't catching. So I'm going to restart that step. Watch it and make sure it goes. And then I'll speed it up. Speed the video up. Okay. It's not doing it. When that happens for me, I notice that if I rethread it, I'm going to take this out. Take my bobbin out. And in sewing, they tell you to have a P, not a Q. So your thread shouldn't be this way. So I just do it with my embroidery. I don't know if that helps, but that's what I do. And I place it back in. Save that little tail. And then I'm going to rethread it as well. So I rethreaded it. I took the bobbin out. I took the thread out and I rethreaded it. And yeah, that seems to work for me for some reason. So I continue to do that if I have any issues. Works for me for sewing as well. So I'm gonna let that run. That process was actually a little bit under 2 minutes, and I have the quilt look, and I'm just going to take this painter's tape off. Now, if I had to use the whole bottom part, I probably would be inclined to take all that off, but since I am not going to worry about it as much, although it is bothering me a little bit. All right, I know I won't use that part, so I'm not gonna worry about it too much. I'm gonna take this part off, and see that tore there, so make sure you're not putting too much tape. Especially on the parts that you need to use or want to use. All right, so now we have that. We're going to tear it off. I moved my big heat press out the way because that thing was getting hot and I didn't need to have that on there. So I'm going to take this off. And because you use tearaway when you do just the quilting part, you can just tear it away. The bag itself, I use the cutaway. Oh, you know what I did with this? I cut it. Let me cut this. Cut as much of it off because you don't want that sound. It has a crunching sound to it. That's why I don't use these in the bags. I use the cutaway. Some people do use the tearaway, but that sound is not too pleasing to me. So I'm going to cut off as much as I can. I'm not going to be too anal about getting out these little squares. But if you wanted to, you could definitely go in and pull it. Matter of fact, I didn't pull it on these. Let me see what it... I stuffed my bags, just so you can see. It's not too bad. Okay. So I'm going to leave that part on there. All right. So now I'm going to show you how I place it to make the bag. For your bag, you're going to need some type of fabric for the backing. I'm going to use the faux leather. You could use fabric. You could use the actual bag, the back of the bag. So it depends on what you want to use. And you're going to need some fabric for inside. I'm using some cotton, and I don't really want to use this red. I wanted green because I'm using the back of my bag as red. And so I want to make the inside of it either yellow or green. So I really want it to be green. But I don't like the green that I see. I don't buy a lot of green fabric. And this is not dark enough for me. So we'll see how it goes in a minute. But the first thing we're going to do is a tack down stitch. So let's go to the machine. Right, on my 5x7 hoop, I'm going to slide it in. I have my cutaway, and I am going to switch from this white real quick. What color am I going to use? The color of the bag is different colors. I'm just going to go red this time. I normally match up the zipper or match up the sides of the bag, but the zipper is rainbow, and the packaging is actually rainbow. So I'm just going with a color. I'm going to come out of this one. We did the quilting stitch. I am going to go find the bag. And this bag is made a little different on the sides. Normally, the bags I've done with Park on the Porch, the opening for you to turn your bag is on the bottom, but this one is actually on the side. And I will show you what I mean. So you can't really see it on here. I'll show you when it does the stitching for me. I use Parker on the Porch. Love, love, love her designs. I'm gonna press embroidery, and I'm gonna make sure my tension is okay. All right. First step is going to, and this is a 5-minute bag, according to the stitch minutes for me, but you still got to do the topping. If you do that, if you don't do the topping, then your bag is going to go much quicker. The video tutorial ends up being a little bit longer, but once you actually start doing it, I don't like how I did that, you're going to see that it goes really fast. And her design comes with several sizes. All right, let's talk about the design of the, let me move here closer. All right, so it did the square. This is the outline. And then this part is the zipper piece. I have to place this zipper on that line. Let me take it out so you can see. So I need to have that zipper in here. This right here is where the zipper is going to go. Well, when the zipper piece here, it's going to do that there. And then I got to decide, where do I want the zipper? Now, because that's rainbow, I have to decide. You would just place a zipper. If you had a regular zipper and you didn't really need to be worried about where you place it, you would just make sure the end piece and the zipper piece is far away from the edge of it so that your embroidery foot won't hit it. If you're new to doing bags, I would tape it down just so it doesn't move. So I'm just going to show you that real quick. And let's see where I want this bag. I really like that red. I think I'm going to try to get it like this. So to give me some red. Almost all of the little colors. All right. And now that is there, I'm going to slide that back in. And then I'm going to go to step 2. In step 2, all it's going to do is tack down this part on here of the zipper and the top part of the zipper. So here we go. It only takes a second to tack down that part. And so for my personal preference, if you haven't seen any of my other bag tutorials, I go ahead and take out the cutaway now on this step. Like, I don't wait to the end of the bag because I would prefer not to see as much white in my bag. And this is the way that I know that I can do that. And so what I do is get you one of these seam rippers, and you just stick it in just a little bit, just enough to pierce it a little bit, and then you immediately switch over to that ball side where it won't cut your zipper, because you don't want your zipper cut. You have to start over. And I'm just going to cut out that middle zipper line that I showed you where the zipper is going to unzip. You're going to need to have the side on cutaway, that both sides of that. Once I push my seam ripper through there and get to this edge, you can take it and go there. I normally don't do that. I normally take my applique scissors. I take my applique scissors and I cut it just a little bit to go along the edge there, because I don't want to rip it, and I want to go on that curve. And then I get my seam ripper and I just repeat the process. I just go against that line and cut that out. All right, now I have that piece of the zipper cut off where I don't have to do that at the end of once I make the bag. Now, you're more than welcome to do that way. I just find it annoying for me personally, but some make it work. All right, now that you have that, we have to do the front of the bag and the inner lining at the same time. Let me show you how to do that. It helps to have your fabric pieces pre-cut. Since I was winging it, I did not. So this is the green I'm going to use inside. Normally I have some that's not so see-through, but yeah, that should be okay. All right, so I'm going to flip my hoop over, and then I'm going to take this piece. If your fabric is directional, or if you have a print on it, make sure the print side is going to go down. This is I don't have to make sure my part is going a certain way, so I'm just going to put it up here. Now this is a line that you need to make sure your fabric is over, so I'm going to put it right here, so that way when let me tape it and show you. For the inside, for this part, I'm going to just use some regular Scotch tape, and I do pull this off afterwards. I'm just going to tape it down like that. And then to make sure you see that it covers everything, you just pull it down like this to make sure it's going to cover your bag. And I actually I'll do it like this. Make sure it covers everything. Just make sure you go past that line, that bottom line. And then when you pull it over, you have enough fabric to cover the end line here. So I do, and I'm going to leave it up because it's going to make a line here to tack it down. Then I'll take this part off. Now that I have that part on there, I'm going to flip it over gently so that it does not move. Then I'm going to take the front of your bag, and you're going to do like you did that one. It's going to be like this, so it needs to you need to flip it over and pull it about the same place. Make sure it's close to that line. I do just a tad over, and then you're going to make sure when you flip it over, it's going to cover the whole bag. So mine will. Let me tape it down so I can show you. I'm going to take this down. This is just temporary here because it's just going to tack it down for a quick second so we can pull it. All right. So now I'm going to pull this down just to show you that I'm making sure that it is going to cover the whole bag. So that's how that bag is going to look, like that. It's going to be cute. Cute, cute, cute. All right, so I'm going to place this back on the machine. And you can look under and make sure none of your fabric pieces have moved or anything. And then this is going to tack it down. We're on step 3. It tacked it down, so I'm going to take that little tape off, and I save my tape. You don't have to, you can throw it away. And then I take the tape off here. Because it's tacked down and I really don't need it. But then you need to leave this up. Don't move this. You're going to only move this one here, just the front. So I'm going to put it back on. And this next step, on step 4, it's going to take it and, get you closer. It's going to tack down 1 stitch all the way around for the front of your bag. So now I'm going to press down that, and you can tape it. I'm just going to hold it. It's going to be 1 quick minute stitch around. Not even a full minute. All right, so it has done 1 stitch around. And for step 5, we're going to pull down the fabric on the back, because remember it stayed up. So now we're going to pull this down like we did the front, and I will tape this part because I can't see it. It's underneath the hoop, and I want to make sure it you can tape all the sides if you want. I don't think I am, just the bottom. Flip it back over, put it back on the hoop. And then now I'm going to tack down the liner. And that only takes a quick minute. Okay, now we're on the next to the last step, which is very, very important that you unzip your bag. And so I have a saying that I say to myself to make sure I do the 3 steps I need to do, which is flip, clip, unzip. So your fabric, your backing needs to be flipped over to the wrong side, and it's going to go over your whole bag. That's my flip. The clip, if you want to have one of those little clips, I will show you. If you want to have one of the clips on the side of the bag like this, you'll need a piece of vinyl or fabric, or what they call that stretchy stuff, to put on the side. So you can clip, put your clip on. And that's what I have here. I just got a small piece of red for this. And then unzip. If you do not unzip your bag is ruined. So I'm going to just take my zipper and I'm going to unzip it. midway up in here. You just want to make sure you unzip it so that you can flip and turn it inside out. So I'm going to probably unzip it just a tad bit more, right? And then I'm going to push it in. To put my piece for my clip, you take the piece of vinyl or fabric or whatever it is you have, and you fold it in half. The piece that's bent that you can't see open, this is the open end. This is the closed end. The closed end need to go inside the back, because when you put your stitching over it, this is going to stick out like this, and then you'll be able to put your clip on. If you do it like this, this will be at the outside of your bag. When you flip your bag, this is going to be inside. It won't be any good. So make sure you flip it where the closed end is, and then that goes on the inside of your outside stitch. And we're going to do that with some tape. Just make sure that when you do it, it extends outside of your stitch line. Don't cut it too short where it's this close, because you want enough fabric on this side so it won't pull out. So I'm going to, and then you just place it wherever you want in the bag. If you place it far in your bag, that tab is going to stick out very far. I normally put mine kind of close to it. As you can see on here, my tab is kind of close. So that's how I do mine. But it's just whatever your preference is. I'm going to put this here, and then I'm going to tape that part in, and then I'm going to tape this a little bit just so it won't move. So we unzip, we put a clip, and then we're going to flip our outside fabric. And then we're just going to place it over it. Make sure your zipper piece is sticking inside, because it's going to go on the outside. Watch your zipper. That one turned and moved. My other ones don't do that. All right, so I'm going to put this far enough over, make sure it covers all over, and then I'm going to press down, and we are going to stitch all the way around the bag. And I'm just going to hold it for a little bit until it gets a good grab on it. Now you could tape it, but my piece extends out, so I'm just going to hold it for a minute. And then this part here is only 2 minutes. So this is a very, very quick bag. It's a small one. The little 3x5s go even quicker. I'll have to do that with one of the bags that I have. I'll show you that one. Once it does that part, you'll have one last step to do, which is to add the fabric, the other part of the fabric for the inside. I'm just going to cut this off real quick. This is way more than I need. All right, and now we're going to flip the hoop over, and this, and once you flip it over, we're going to tape down the other piece of the other side of the fabric piece. I'm going to take this off. Just make sure you have enough to cover the entire area of the outline stitch. And then according to this particular square bag, let me just show you here. If you'll notice here, there is an opening. That's where the we're going to turn the bag, wherever that opening is. So the opening will be on the fabric, So when you put this liner on, you need to pay attention to where your liner is going to be flipped. It's going to be flipped on this side, so I need to make sure I have enough fabric over here to turn it. So I am going to face it down. If it's directional, just make sure you place it on. So if the printed side is here, make sure you turn the printed side over. And if the printed side, if the design is going this direction, this is the top and this is the bottom. When you turn it, the top should be here, the bottom should be here, but you should be seeing the back side. And then just make sure you cover the entire area of your placement stitch all the way around, and then try to leave, wherever your bag turns, try to leave some extra fabric on that side. So I am going to take this down. You can use whichever tape you want. I'm going to get another piece. I'm gonna make this one pretty long because I want to make sure this covers that whole top area, because I don't want that to come out. And then I'm going to tape this part. So just make sure it's taped down pretty good. You could do the sides, but I'm just going to do that like that. And then we're going to be on our last part for the bag. Let's do this last stitch, and it's only a minute. And it's going to go all the way around, but it's because it's going to have an opening, it's going to leave this much space over here open for the liner part. And it's going to go back and around. Last part. Once it finishes, you take it off. To finish up your bag, you will need a dowel, and I use just a roller color, but you can definitely use some scissors. And then you need some fabric glue. Get the clear fabric glue. Get the clear fabric glue. It makes a difference than that white glue. I started out with that, and you can see the glue. All right, so I'm going to take it off the hoop. And because I use cutaway, I am going to have to cut it away. The opening is here. So this is the side that I need to make sure that I do not cut that off. So when I cut this part, I just pull. Hold on. The side with the opening, make sure you pull it back so that you do not cut it off, and then you just cut that extra away. Just want to make sure you don't do the where you turn it, the extra fabric for turning. I'm gonna take these pieces of tape off. And then I'll come back and do this piece. I probably would do the white tape. Just because it pulls a little bit better off. Okay. All right, so I'm going to turn this over, and I like to cut from this side versus cutting from, I cut from this side because this is the outline. If you cut from this side, you may catch those stitches. So this is the side I cut from the backing. And I just go all the way up the side and cut that off. Let me press down a little bit more. Cut that off. And then for the top, cut cut just a little bit of that off. Easier to turn it. And then for this, the sides, I kind of round it, or I kind of give it a couple of snitches. All right. And then this part here, this is my opening. So remember, you're not gonna do anything with that. You're gonna leave that alone. And then you do your bottom part. All right, anything you can save, you save. If not, get rid of it. So this is the liner. The two pieces should be together. So don't mess up and put a liner on this side. They should be touching when you make your bags in the embroidery machine. And then you're going to take it and gently, try not to pull the stitches, although sometimes I do. Turn it. I'm getting there. I have such a headache. I have not eaten today. I'm about to go make me some homemade zuppa toscana, like what they have at Olive Garden. It's my very favorite soup, and when I found the recipe online, I started making it home, and it's even better. Alright, so I'm just gonna kind of flatten it out, and then I normally just unzip it. Go ahead and unzip it now. Take my finger, put it in there. And it just helps me to get the bag open a little bit better. Right, because I only want to just open it so I can come in here and glue it. And you're gonna need some something to hold it. Some people have these clips. I use the Wonder clips, but you definitely can use those. So here are my Wonder clips. Whatever kind of clips you have. I'm gonna fold in the fabric, and this is how you do it on any bag. You just fold it in and fold it in on this side. That way when you glue it together, it'll have like a somewhat closure there where it looks nice. Gonna open up your fabric glue. You only need a little bit. I'm going to take my glue. Just a little bit. I immediately try to close it, because if not, it will start coming out and then harden up. And then I take it and I close it. Now, if you use that white fabric glue and you use too much, it's gonna skid out, and then you're gonna see that whiteness when it dries up. That's why I say get clear. That way you don't see it in your bag. When I started out, I used to use the white glue, and I just don't like it. All right, so now that's pinned together. It's going to take about 5 minutes. And then I'm going to come back and show you the turning out process once it's done. Now, if you want to do the pin straps, I do already have that tutorial on my channel. So you can just, and I'll link it in the description for this one, so you can watch that if you decide you want to make the little straps for it. All right, 5 minutes. All right, once you've let your bag sit for a little bit with the clips, it's time to take the clips off and start turning your bag. And I kind of press the corners as I go. All corners. And I do use this dowel to get my corners a little bit better. And then I take the tape off of the clip. I can't get it. I'm going to gently take my, normally I can see it, but I can't see this part. Oh, all right. The bag is clear, the tape is clear. I couldn't see it. Then you take that off. Get off your tape. And if it's sticky, just get some baby wipe or something and wipe that. And just stretch this out a little bit more. Get those edges. Down, poke it a little bit more. And then there's the inside of my bag. There's the zipper of my bag. I like that rainbow. Now, I normally stuff my bags just so you can see how nice and thick you can put stuff in. So let me get some paper. My paper comes from crayons in a pack. You can get it from Walmart. But I just stuff it. I don't know where my paper is. It moved on me. Alright. So I want to stuff it so you can see. Just take some of this. Stuffing it. Alright, part left now is to do, so cute, is to put the little clip, and I'll show you how to do that real quick. To place those little split rings onto the bags, I normally take a what is this thing called? Staple remover. And I have a couple of them in my room. And then I take it and I put it on like that. And then you can just slide it on. I'll link the tutorial for the wristlet holder there, and there you have it. Isn't that cute? I love, 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 love. Zip it. It has liner. Back is red. Zipper is colorful. And there you have it. Another tutorial from Erica Shablice. Hope this helps. Let me know if you have any questions.
Thanks for watching. Hope this helps. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button.